The one piece of marriage advice that I'm going to tell you today, it's going to make you mad. You will either fall in love with me for sharing this with you, or you will block me on this platform so you never see my face again. Yet, I will take the risk of sharing it with you. Because I took this advice, implemented it in my life, and I still share it with all of my female friends. That's how much I believe in this. So, if you're still with me, let me take you back to 2016. I was 19 years old, getting ready to begin work. So I stood in that office washroom half asleep at 7:45 a.m. on a weekday. I was trying to comb my hair and apply my lipstick when a newly married colleague walked into the washroom and everybody started congratulating her. I ignored that chitter chatter because, well, I was 19 and I had no intentions of getting married ever. So I kept my nose to my business until I heard something that caught my attention. I heard this newly married colleague, let's call her A, ask a senior female colleague, let's call her B, about some marriage advice. Colleague A asked colleague B, "Ma'am, any tips for me to have a happy marriage like yours?" And instantly, all of my attention was towards them because there's something about this term advices that still baffles me and I can't help it. So I waited for the response of this colleague B. Now, with a bit of a thought, the senior colleague B shared her marriage advice. She said, and I quote, "If you can't do something for the rest of your life, don't do it on the first day of your marriage." Are you confused? Because back then there were 5 females who were standing in that washroom, and all of a sudden that washroom went dead quiet. And then this colleague, Madam B, kept on going. She said, "If you can't cook for the rest of your life, do not cook in the initial days of your marriage. If you can't sweep floors for the rest of your life, do not sweep floors in the initial days of your marriage. If you can't wake up at 5 a.m. after sleeping at 1 a.m., do not wake up at 5 a.m. in the initial days of your marriage." Now, let me explain it to you further. As a married woman myself, I know this urge of having this badge of a good daughter in law. As soon as we are married, we try to please this new family of ours and we start seeking their validation. We want them to say that, "Oh, our daughter in law can manage everything, she's so good." But do you know what being good costs you over time? Being good means that you will sleep at 1 a.m. and wake up at 6 a.m. to cook for everyone while everyone else is catching up on their sleep and resting like a normal human being. Being good means that you will be the last one to eat food because everyone else is so busy eating it freshly warm and served, and you will be so busy making sure that everyone is well fed that your turn comes at last. Being good means that you will clean after everyone else in the family, even though everyone else in the family is a fucking adult. Being good means that if you are working a 9 to 5, you will do that. Come back home absolutely exhausted and then get straight in the kitchen so that everyone can have a good meal in the dinner. Being good means that over time you will become so okay in disappointing yourself just because you will be too scared to disappoint everyone else. Being good means sacrificing your entire existence trying to become everything to everyone. And yeah, sure, you can put up this performance for 6 to 12 months, but then after that, it is all going to catch up to you and you will feel resentful. And this is how it will feel like. First of all, you'll start hating yourself, and then eventually you will find other people around in the family and you will start blaming them. And I think blaming everyone around you is such a bad thing to do because you never had the courage to speak up for yourself. You just kept thinking that everyone else around you should understand. They will not understand. And why would they even understand? Because you have set the bar of their expectations so high and you have done that yourself. You have made everyone believe that you can do everything without having any problem. So then why anyone around you, in most cases including your husband, would even bother about how you're feeling? They become used to the comfort that you are providing them while you are stood there sacrificing your health mentally, emotionally and physically. And while it might sound like that I am blaming you for all the sad turn of events, which I am partially blaming you for not taking a stand for yourself, I also observe a great problem with Indian families these days. The older generation these days, the generation of our parents, they want a woman who is well educated, earning, outgoing and modern. But the woman should not be too educated to have her own opinions, not earning too much to run her own business, not too outgoing to have her own circle, and not too modern to know the importance of life. We are at this cruel cusp where we are adopting the ways of modern family while we are having a hard time to let go of the traditional ways in which our families operated 20 years ago. So, as a result, women are expected to contribute towards the family financially while also taking care of the entire household as our homemaker mothers would. So, in a nutshell, you legit have a 9 to 5 professionally, and then you're working 2 part-time shifts, which is 5 to 9 in the morning and then 5 to 9 in the evening. So, then where's the time to nurture love and relationship in the family? Where's the time to take care of your own health? Where is the time for you and your husband's relationship to even grow? But then, yeah, we all understand that. What is the solution to all of this? The solution is you as a woman need to get fucking okay in disappointing people. You have to get this through your head that no matter what you do, you cannot make everyone happy in your life. Even when you will be doing everything for everyone, there will be people who will still have complaints with you. And you cannot help it. But here's what you can do. If you start doing everything that you can for yourself, at least there will be one less people to complain. If you focus on filling your own cup first, then you will be able to serve others and it will all come from a point of love rather than obligation. But the problem is that you cannot get okay in disappointing people. As an Indian girl, we all have been taught, this is our conditioning, that we always have to listen to our elders. Whatever they are saying, we have to just shut our mind and then obey them. No matter if in all our conscious we know that they are saying something wrong or they are saying something that does not consider us. We are all conditioned in that manner. And that is why it is so important that you take it as your responsibility to disappoint as many people as you can in your life. This habit of becoming a people pleaser, this habit of being the good girl in every circumstance needs to go away. For the love of God, act like a normal human being. Understand what you like and what you do not like. Understand your own limitations and your own boundaries and then communicate it to them effectively. I have seen scenarios wherein women upfront say that, okay, I'm not going to do this and I'm going to do that, I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to do that. But then once they get married, this urge to become the good daughter-in-law just kicks in out of nowhere, and then they stop following their own words. They do everything just to make people around them happy. And you know what that tells me about you? That tells me that you're not a strong woman. That tells me that you do not care if people are crossing your boundaries. That tells me that nobody gives a damn about you or even respect you because you cannot stand your own word. How pathetic is that? See, I do not want to be bashing out on you, but I am also very tired for women not being able to speak up for themselves and just thinking that people around them should understand. No, they will not understand. Once you start understanding that 99% of the people around you are just acting fool so that they can take the best advantage out of you, you will understand how well you've been played and manipulated. So rather than hating on everyone after going down that path, what you need to do is you need to understand yourself. You need to analyze that what are the things I truly enjoy doing. For example, in my case, I enjoy cooking. Like, you can ask me to cook food, I'll be more than happy to do it. But then there are also certain things that I hate doing. And if I am doing those things, I am just standing there questioning my existence. That's why I have said in a harsh way that, okay, these are the things I cannot do. And then I do not do it no matter what. So then, please, as a woman, this is my urge, women to women, girl to girl, please spend your singlehood time in understanding yourself. Please understand what you can and cannot do, and then set the expectations for your new family. Once the expectations are set and the boundaries are drawn, stand your own ground. Because if you won't, then who will? That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed watching this video and the chain of my thoughts, then make sure that you're subscribed to my channel because I am on a mission to study everything that makes a woman powerful, and I want to share all of my findings with you. And trust me, you cannot miss it. I will see you on Friday.